My name is Chelsey Green. I'm a violinist, I'm a violist, I'm a vocalist, I'm an educator, and generally just somebody who loves music. I fell in love with music at a very early age. I was around 7 or 8 years old. I had a private teacher that would take me to the performances of the Nutcracker. She was a pit orchestra member, and I would go behind stage with her and sit with her in the pit and watch the musicians interact with each other and watch them play this beautiful music and look at the ballet dancers just be gorgeous on stage and see how the music that they were playing in real time was influencing the performance. I would look at that and say, I want to be a part of that magic one day. And I knew very young that it was something that I wanted to do. Greatest musical influence, I would have to start with my father. He is a musician, jazz and a funk musician, a percussionist and educator himself, drummer. And he's taught some very awesome jazz drummers that you hear on the scene now. And it was him and my mother that really introduced me to not only classical music and what it was, but jazz and funk and soul and R&B and contemporary jazz and fusion styles and blues, gospel, the list goes on and on. And I just really always could remember how it made me feel. And that was something that was so unique. I just felt so good when I listened to music that I knew it was something that I kind of wanted to tackle and create and make my own. I feel like the Green Project now is a family. And I actually met my drummer, Spida, first. The group was born in Baltimore. I was studying at the Peabody Conservatory at Johns Hopkins University. I was studying my master's. And one night, I was actually performing at the Kennedy Center. I was subbing in the orchestra playing viola. And after that performance, I was supposed to go on a blind date. I got stood up for the date. So I made my way back to Baltimore very sad and distraught and found my way into a neighborhood bar. And, maybe the bartender was really helping me through that night. And it just happened to be an open mic. Now, at that point, I didn't know what an open mic was. I had really no knowledge of what it was, but I saw these people coming up to the mic, doing poetry or singing a little a cappella tune. And I was like, oh, this is really nice. And in true classical musician fashion, I had my viola on my back because I never leave it in the car. You just cannot leave your baby in the car at any time. And the host of the open mic called me out on the microphone. They got up to the mic and they said, hey, somebody's at the bar with a saxophone. And I'm looking around like, who has a saxophone? Is that? And the bartender points at me like, that's you, girl. And I said, okay. Not a saxophone, but let's roll with it. Let's just roll with it. Absolutely. So I go up to the mic and I said, hey, my name is Chelsey Green. I have no idea what's about to happen, but hey, DJ, drop a beat. And he played an instrumental version of Kanye West's Flashing Lights. And I just did some improvisation over that track. And it was so fun. And people really got into it. And they didn't know that I was really going to go off like that. And then actually the owner of the establishment came out of the back and said, I want you to come back this weekend with your band. Now, I did not have a band in existence at that point. So I went into overdrive figuring out who was going to be in this new magical group that didn't exist yet. And I had some very, very awesome supporters that were with me from that night at the open mic who introduced me to my drummer, Spida, who's been with me since then. I met him, and then we met some other musicians, and a couple years went by, and sometimes personnel has to change for different reasons, family reasons, and other things. So we met the bass player Kevin about 6 years ago, and then he introduced us to the keyboardist in the Green Project, Ignatius Perry Jr., who's now part of the group, and we've been a unit together for almost 5 years now. So we've grown together, we play off of each other's strengths, and we really help each other be better musicians through what we create individually and collectively. So they are a blessing to me because we really have grown as a unit.
Subscribe and check out these other amazing artists on the B-side.